Stop. Yeah, hi guys. It's been a minute. What? It's been a month and a half. So, figured it was time to do another quick vlog update. Chester says hi. Do you wanna say hi? He's still learning life of the house. So, I am driving again. I'm currently driving buses. So I'm doing a mix of shuttle driving, charter driving, and here in a couple weeks after I finish out the testing, I'm going to start doing school bus driving for a company here in town. So the downside is that the channel is effectively dead. I won't be doing live streams on the road except when I'm traveling. Other than that, you'll probably see videos from me from time to time, because I still have my dash cams in my cars, and I still have some leftover trucking clips that still need to be edited and posted, and I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. So you'll still see idiots on the road clips from time to time, but won't be doing live on the road drives anymore. Like I said, unless I'm traveling somewhere. The good news is that I'm driving again. I could have gone to work for literally any over-the-road company I wanted. You know, Millionaire Award for no accidents, 10-year safety award, primetime certified awards. And I really thought about it. Because I could have gone to work for literally anyone with my record, with my history, with my experience. But I took a couple weeks. I went to the coast where I have family and spent a bunch of time on the beach. You probably saw some of the videos on my other channel, the Kite Festival and the car show and whatnot. And I took a good couple solid weeks to just not think about anything. I got my end of lease bonus that I was promised from Prime, so I'm financially okay. So it gave me some time to sit and think about what I was really interested in doing, which I really haven't had that much time to do in the last 11 and a half, 12 years. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know, I've gotten so burned out on living in a box with no plumbing, questionable air, all the constant vibrations, all of it, and dealing with companies and dealing with dispatchers and dealing with just life on the road. You know, I've told people for a long time that trucking is much more of a lifestyle than a job choice. And I never ever would have guessed when I started that I would end up doing it for over a decade myself. So I started looking for local or regional jobs instead. Something where I could be home on the regular instead of being out on the road for 6 or 8 weeks or more. And even then, looking at regional stuff, driving for Walmart, delivering to Walmart stores, you're out 6 days straight and you come home for 34-hour resets. And I looked into that. There is a company that does a contract for a Walmart that is a couple hours south of where I live. And I thought, oh, maybe I could work for them. It'd be a company driver. I'd get good benefits, retirement packages, the whole 9 yards. And it'd be kind of close to what I used to do, except that you get more home time. Well, yes and no. You are a company driver. You do get benefits. But you only get to come home for those 34-hour resets. So you're home for maybe 2 days, roughly every 6 days. And the deal breaker, they allow pets, but they allow dogs, but not cats. And they couldn't tell me why. So it's like, if I'm going to be out for 6 days living in the truck, I'm not doing it without my cat. Another issue with some of those companies doing local like store delivery jobs is you got to unload the truck, which is not to be unexpected. But I'm very squishy after over a decade of no-touch freight. And I overheat really easily. I got to really work on getting some exercise in and trying to rehabilitate myself. And I was like, I can't trust myself that I would be able to maintain the physicality necessary to be loading and unloading trucks myself. So I've been looking at things like local delivery drivers, driving trash trucks, driving dump trucks, and various things like that. I ultimately settled on the busing job. Normally, busing is like a part-time thing, and it's hard to make a living on one part-time job, and I really didn't want to have and juggle multiple jobs in order to make enough money. And the company that I found was offering a specific hybrid position where you would spend, you'd have a regular schedule, partially doing shuttling. It's an employee shuttle, so it's not like a commuter shuttle. It's just shuttling employees from one location to another. And then they would supplement that with school bus driving. So, like, you could do shuttles in the morning, school bus in the afternoon, or vice versa. And the hours between the two over the course of a week work out to be about what you would get from a full-time job, about 40 hours. And the pay rate, based on all of the math I did, would be right about where I'd want to be for getting paid and making sure that I had enough to pay my bills, pay my debts, and still have some left over for savings or for fun. So after doing a couple of interviews and looking at a lot of places, I just decided, you know what, I'm going to go for the bus thing. It felt like the right place to go. It's been quite a journey. It's been very strange getting used to living at home. I mean, for literally over a decade now, the house has been more of a vacation destination. So I'm sort of relearning how to live because, like I said, I've been driving almost since I graduated from high school. I've pretty much known nothing else. I did a few jobs before I went out on the road, but they were part-time, minimum wage. I spent 2 seasons on the farm driving spud trucks. I worked for Walmart stocking shelves. I worked for Kmart selling electronics. So everything after that has been on the road in a truck. The first thing I had to do was clean because, like, my bedroom here had hardly changed since I graduated. So I thought for a while it needed to be redone. So that was priority number one. So my bedroom's been redone. I've been doing a ton of cleaning. Can't see it in here. So this is my office and also my guest room and also storage. So this down here with the dragon is actually the bottom bunk, and that's my guest bed. Has my mattress from the truck. It's a very nice mattress. And then the top bunk is storage. And then everything on the other side of the room that you can't see is my office. So I have my computer set up in here. Yeah. Getting used to being at home, it's like I have to remember, for instance, that I am not on vacation anymore. I'm not on vacation when I come home. I'm at home. I live here now. So normally when I would come home, I'd be home for a week or two, maybe a couple days. So I treat it like a vacation, and I'd have lots of junk food and candy and soda and go out to eat all the time and order in all the time. And I'm just like, okay, I need to slow down on the ordering in. I've integrated all the food from the truck, the appliances from the truck into my kitchen. So I still have bins full of food from the truck that I have stacked up. I'm trying to filter it into the food I have at the house and slowly actually work through it and have it. It's nice to have a full-size fridge again, I'll tell you that. It's got to be 6 times the size of the fridge in the truck. And it's like, I'm not sure what to buy. And then suddenly realizing, I can actually invest in fresh food again because I have somewhere to store it. My revelation this last week was that I could have a toaster. I could buy bread and have a toaster because in the truck, I never got through bread before it would go bad. So the best I had was bagels. Bagels keep a lot longer, especially if you can freeze them. So all of a sudden it occurred to me, I can buy a toaster and I can make toast in the morning. I actually kind of have breakfast now. I never used to eat breakfast in the truck. I would wake up, I would feed him, and I'd be on the road within 20 minutes. And now I can get up, I can have an hour before I go to work, I can feed him, I can make some toasts, sit and watch the news, normal people things. So it's a process getting used to it. He hates it so far. He's not down with the fact that I'm not around him 24/7. In the truck, we were together all the time, even if most of the time during the day I was working. We were still there. He was right next to me on the passenger seat, or he was right next to me on the floor. He was on the dash. He was always right there. And now he can't be. I have to leave the house, and he does not like that. So even today, I went in, I had today off, but I went into the office so I could work out some scheduling. And I was gone for maybe 2 hours between going in and talking and getting scheduling done. And I went to the store and got some new clothes, some real clothes. And I came home and he is immediately all upset. Where have you been? Why have you been gone? And that's why he's on me right now, because I want to be with you. And it's funny because you can just see it over my shoulder there. There is a cat tower in here where he could sit. Yes, sweetheart. He also likes to hang out on the bed next to the dragon. He's been doing good otherwise. He did get into a fight with my mom's cat a couple weeks ago. That was a bit of an issue. For me, not for him. I tried to intervene, and this little turd locked his jaws around my finger, and I ended up going into the Ready Care and getting my finger all cleaned up, and it took a couple weeks to heal. And people don't believe me when I say that he's a dangerous animal, and he's aggressive, aren't you? Yeah. I have an actual warning sticker for his kennel for when we go to the vet that says, caution, known aggressive. And even the vet people forget because he's such a sweetheart around me, but no one else. You're shedding all over everything, hon. Can you move? Come on. Move. Move. Thank you. So while I was here, I've done my first charter trip yesterday, and I thought I'd show you some pictures to get kind of an idea of what I've been up to. I am still working, like I said, on my school bus endorsement. I had my passenger from previous experience with another busing company about 8 years ago. But I did not have my school bus endorsement. They are separate things. So I'm working towards getting the school bus, but I can already do shuttles and charters. So let me try and bring this up. Turn my face off. Give me the photo viewer, please. Really? Just open it. There we go. So, I've been training in that number 14 there. And then the 909 on the left is the charter bus that I drove yesterday. I did my first full charter yesterday. Took a couple groups of kids out to Craters of the Moon for a field trip. Sweetheart, there's not enough room for you, my keyboard, and my drink in my hand. Thank you. So, obviously, not the sort of job where I can quickly throw in a GoPro and do live drives. Can I not cycle through these? Really? What happened to the app? They moved it. Well, anyway. Maybe I'll just have to do it one at a time. Anyway. So doing the charters is doing basically the big buses. This company uses old transit buses from Utah. 48-foot buses. So doing maneuvers is basically like realizing that the bus is the trailer if I were still driving a truck. It's fun doing the backing maneuvers and trying to remind myself that you don't countersteer towards wherever you're drifting. You turn the other way because there is no trailer. But basically it's muscle memory. Like I said, I have done this sort of thing before and in a bus this size. So it's just kind of remembering, you know, you got to deal with the cornering. You have to remember your length. What's really interesting about these buses is that they have, number one, no fuel gauge. I've never driven a vehicle in my life that does not have some form of fuel gauge. Any rideable vehicle that uses fuel has always had a fuel gauge. And these charter buses, these old commuter buses, do not. I find that amazing. It's not like it's broken or missing. It was never put in the factory to begin with. So they do all the judgment of how much fuel is in the tank based on mileage. So they track the miles. They know roughly how far it can go. So when it gets anywhere near the sort of upward limit of expected range, that's when you want to make sure you fill it. So these pictures are from Craters of the Moon. I took these yesterday. For anyone who doesn't know, about an hour and a half west of Idaho Falls, Idaho, about 20 minutes outside Arco, Idaho, is Craters of the Moon National Monument and Preserve. It is a couple thousand-year-old volcanic formation. It's a series of volcanic formations. And it gets its name from the Apollo missions, because certain parts of the terrain were used as a training site for astronauts getting ready to go on Apollo missions to the moon, because it was thought that the barren, rocky terrain, you can see some of the boulders in some of these pictures, of these lava fields would make a decent analog for the sort of landscape that they were predicting might exist on the moon when they got there, like these rocks back here, all this sort of stuff. So they have a lot of really cool and interesting places in there. There are lava tubes that you can go down into. You need a permit for it because there is wildlife. They have bats and things, and you have to be aware of that. And our field trip group, they actually had a permit, and they got flashlights, and they actually went and hiked through a couple of the caves. There's 2 or 3 different caves that you can go down and into. You can see the other bus back here, because we had 2 classes of 6th graders. Close. Thank you. You can really see the idea of why this sort of landscape they thought might be a good analog for the moon. When you see some of these landscapes, like this cinder cone here, is completely devoid of plant life and everything. The Inferno Cone. If you ever do go to Craters of the Moon, it's not a very big park, but there are a lot of trails, and some of them, like this one, can be pretty steep. Beautiful landscape, though. So I won't be doing trips like this one all the time. A lot of the charters that I will be doing are things like taking your local high school sports team from their school to another school for competitions. There's some interstate things, some cross-state things. Right now, I'm mostly doing the charters as a fill-in to try and get some extra hours. There is a mandatory minimum of behind-the-wheel training hours in a school bus before you can test out to get your school bus license. And right now, the fellow who does the training on the school bus side is off for a couple weeks because he is doing spud harvest. So while he's off, I can't drive the school bus. So when he gets back, we'll do a couple more trips in the school bus to top off my hours, and then I'll be able to test out and get my endorsement for the passenger or for the school bus. At which point, I will most likely be doing a hybrid schedule between the shuttles and the school bus driving that I had originally signed on for. So the charters will be kind of a fill-in to just get some extra cash in the meantime. So that is pretty much the update. I wanted to let everyone know that I'm doing okay. The world hasn't come to an end for me, for Chester. We are moving forward. It's definitely taking some getting used to being at home. Just being able to just get in my car and just go into town and do what I want is just, it's bizarre to me. I mean, like I said, I would come home and do sort of vacations at home, but whenever I came home, there was always projects that needed to be done. So like for most of the last week even, we've been doing yard work, getting the house ready for winter. So there's been 3 or 4 trailer loads of tree branches that have been hauled off, and we've been doing roof and gutter cleaning. There's still not enough room here for you, child. He's like, I don't freaking care. I am crawling up in your lap, whether you like it or not. He doesn't like it when I do this sort of thing because he thinks I'm talking to myself. And he's like, well, there's no one else here, so you must be meaning to talk to me. So, anyway, yes, it's been a lot of getting used to things. Hi, Turd. He's particularly upset right now because he thinks I skipped his breakfast. But he seems to forget that we have a rule that his dish has to be empty from the last meal before he's allowed the next one. And somebody left several bites of food from their dinner last night in their dish. Yeah. Anyway. So yes. I have officially left Prime in my rearview mirror. I was paid out the bonus that I was promised, and I actually got a reasonable amount out of it. They didn't pull a bunch of bullshit when they did their turn-in inspection stuff. Really thought that they might. I'm getting over it. I'm still a little sour about the situation for obvious reasons. If anyone's watching this and wants to know what the heck I'm talking about, watch some of my previous videos, you'll understand. I have had some comments basically saying, I don't get it. Why didn't you just remove the videos and then repost them later? It was like, because that's not really the point. The point was is that stuff had been going on for a long time. And you have to draw a line somewhere. I had been dealing with so much crap for so long that I couldn't even name all the incidents. There were certain ones that for sure stood out, and I talked about them in previous videos. But you have to draw a line somewhere. And if things continue to not improve, you have to stop. And that was where I was at. For me, it was a case of, if it's not the videos, it's something else. It's going to be something else. And I do honestly, truly believe that they had long since been fed up with me and my opinions and whatnot. But the only reason they hadn't canceled my contract sooner was because I was too good of a worker with too good of a record. And using the videos as an excuse to push me out was just a nice, easy way to do it. And the fact that I chose not to fight it, and the fact that within literal minutes, I mean, there was no, hey man, take some time, think about it, or, get back to us. Nothing. Within minutes, it's, I'm going to write you to Springfield so we can get you out of the truck. Within minutes. And me sitting there going, I just told you I would work through the end of the month, the end of my lease. And they're like, nope, we want you out of the truck ASAP. Well, not without my bonus. And within minutes of me saying that, they told me that my bonus was guaranteed, even with turning in the truck 3 weeks early. Unbelievable. And it's one of those things where, you can sit there and say, well, why didn't you just take the videos down, capitulate? And it's because the videos didn't matter. It really wasn't about the videos. So I put it in my rearview mirror. I am still a bit sour about it. I'm happy to talk about it to people who listen, or I should say complain about it. I've had lengthy chats with my family, with my friends. At this point, it is what it is, and I am ready and trying to move on. I'm trying to move forward, which is real fun because a huge portion of my wardrobe is old work shirts. And I don't mind wearing my Little Dragon Industries shirts, but I also have, a dozen or more of these things. And I mixed feelings about wearing them. It's like, on the one hand, things fell apart. On the other hand, I had a decade-long strong career with them, and I was relatively proud of that. So, for now, I'm keeping the shirts, etc. I'm keeping the awards and the rewards. I have my plaque for my millionaire right here on the wall. And when I'm working, I have my my PTC ring on that I earned. So, I'm trying to take the bad with the good. And say, look, it could have been better, but it could have been worse. And just kind of try and move forward. So, that is where we're at. Do you want to say goodbye? Yeah. So, if you choose to unsubscribe from the channel, totally understand. Like I said, I'll probably post Idiots on the Road clips from time to time. I have some that I need to work on. Keep an eye on my other channel. I have been doing some more stuff there since I have time for it now. I did several videos this last trip out on the coast. I have some plans for doing some more videos while I'm here, since I have weekends and home time and nights. All that fun stuff that normal people get.